Hello everyone and welcome inside Rogers Center for 2020 opening day between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Boston Red Sox. Well, my name is Jackson Farough. I'm joined in the broadcast booth today by Drew Frank. You'll hear from him momentarily, but this is a tale of two teams who had very different off seasons. The Blue Jays went out and made a couple key additions, mainly their starter in today's contest, Hyunjin Ryu, the runner-up in the NL Cy Young race last season. And for the Red Sox, they had some pretty key subtractions, namely Mookie Betts and David Price. It'll be interesting to see how that affects both these teams' seasons, and of course opening day, a day of hope, a day of inspiration, a day of positivity as every team is 500, but that all changes after today. First pitch is coming up very shortly from Rogers Center. The Dome is closed today, and we'll send it down to the field for introductions and anthems. And now the prized asset the Blue Jays picked up this offseason, Hyunjin Ryu. Drew, tell us about him.
Well, he's not going to attack you right away. He doesn't have that blazing fastball, but he can locate. He's got great movement. And even though his fastball is coming in at 92, 93, he can spot it perfectly and get the ground balls he needs to generate to be successful.
And he'll have to be successful against Jose Peraza, the first hitter of the Red Sox today. And he steps into the box. Here's the first pitch of the season. Welcome to 2020 baseball, everyone. We start off with a first pitch ball from Hyunjin Ryu to Jose Peraza. Peraza coming over to the Red Sox this season on a one-year, $3 million deal, playing second base today. And that cutter offering from Ryu, also outside 2-0. And in terms of the repertoire, Drew, what are you expecting from Ryu today?
Well, Ryu works a lot with his fastball. We've seen already thrown two fastballs. He needs to spot it, and he'll complement with a nice breaking ball, a cutter that breaks inside to the righties like Peraza, and a slider that he likes to keep down in the zone.
And here's the 2-1 pitch. Now that one swung on, and that one will get down in center field. The first hit of the 2020 season now goes to Jose Peraza with a leadoff single here in the first inning. An excellent job there by him, just reading the pitch. Like you mentioned, Drew, a big repertoire for Ryu, but Peraza being able to dig that one, just got into his comfort zone a little bit. Obviously, Ryu's pitch got a little too high up. Looked like he was trying to enter down below the zone as Andrew Benintendi enters the plate, or the box rather now, and he'll fly that one out to right field. Teoscar Hernandez playing right field for the Blue Jays today will get there. One out now.
Well, for Ryu, a big thing we mentioned is he has to be attacking the zone. In the first at-bat, he fell behind 2-0 on two missed fastballs, and that forced him to come into the zone in a changeup, and he ended up getting hit for a single. To Benintendi, first pitch strike, and you can see a much better result for Ryu.
Absolutely. And now J.D. Martinez stepping in. And there's a pickoff attempt. That was closer than it should have been. Looks like there. Excellent job there by Ryu on Jose Peraza. But yes, J.D. Martinez, obviously a famed slugger. A couple years into his Red Sox tenure now, as he swings through that fastball offering from Ryu. And he's someone who hitting in the 3-hole today, and he's got the ability to really drive this lineup. And he's going to have to, I think, for the Red Sox this season. There's the 0-1 offering from Ryu. That one just a little low. Fastball hovering in the shallow 90s. 92 fastball there. 1-1 pitch. Another pickoff attempt. Once again, pretty close. Jose Peraza really testing his fate a little bit.
Well, he only had 7 steals last year. But way back in 2013, he picked up 23 steals. So he's been successful throughout his career. Didn't see it much last year, but in the leadoff spot, that might be something he looks to bring back to his game.
Absolutely. We'll see if that plays into perhaps this at-bat. 2-1 count now makes it a 2-2. Ryu, excellent two-seam offering right down Main Street. And we've got a 2-2 count now. Another pickoff attempt. That one looked really close as well. This is an excellent little battle here between Ryu and Peraza. Here's the 2-2 offering now from Ryu. That one swung on through the hole between first and second. It'll get down and right. Hernandez fields it, throws to third as Peraza's making his way there. Slides in and he's safe. JD Martinez with a one-out single to right. First and third, just one out here for the Red Sox. And now Xander Bogaerts, the shortstop for the Red Sox, steps in with a chance here to drive in a couple runs. And that fastball offering a little high.
For the Red Sox, losing Betts from the top of the order, Peraza's not going to bring the same tools to the table as Betts, of course, but if he can get on base, they still have the middle of the order to get him over and bring him in. So if he can keep doing that, this Red Sox offense may surprise some people.
And you know what? I think the biggest issue with the Red Sox this season is going to be their starting rotation. Right? They lost a number of arms in that department, and you can't count on Eduardo Rodriguez to deliver another 200 innings this year. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But their lineup, for sure, still very, very capable. Bogaerts now with a 2-0 count. And Ryu's four-seam offering is just high outside the zone there. And a bit of a debatable call, but now a 3-0 count on first and second. Ryu in a tough spot here in the first inning of his Blue Jays tenure. Bogaerts swings on that one. That one, will it get down? No, it won't. Oh, it will actually. Wow, I thought that one was caught, but it, in fact, gets down.
No, Gurriel grabbed that. He picks it up just before it hit the carpet and fell down with it.
Oh, wow. That was crazy. Let's see that again. Bogaerts, so he drives that one to left. It looked like it was caught, but I wasn't sure. Gurriel, excellent job to stay with that one there and records the out. Now the runner does tag and get in. That's Peraza for the first run of the Red Sox season, but nonetheless, excellent play by Gurriel to at least keep the damage at bay. As that one swung on by Devers, once again out to Gurriel, and no debate about that one. 3 out now, and 1 run scored for the Red Sox as we head to the bottom of the first inning here in Toronto. And welcome back, everyone. Now, Eduardo Rodriguez, 200 innings last year, 203 innings, rather, for the Red Sox. And, Drew, do you think he'll do that again this year?
Well, he's got some big shoes to fill. We talked about Price leaving the team in the offseason, and Chris Sale out for the year with Tommy John. The news broke just a couple weeks ago. And, man, that is devastating for the Red Sox. Eduardo Rodriguez forced into the role of being the team's ace. This is going to be a big season for him, whether or not he can live up to that.
Absolutely. And speaking of living up to hype, here's Bo Bichette. Fouls off the first pitch he sees in 2020, the second-round pick in 2016. Came up last season, one of the better prospects the Blue Jays organization has seen in some time, especially at shortstop. And what do you expect from him this year?
I think he showed flashes with the bat last year. I'm looking to see what he can do as a starting shortstop. There's more than just hitting. You've got to show some range. You got to show some consistency. Lots of errors last year. A couple throwing errors in key points of games over in their West Coast stretch. And if he can round out his game in the field, then he'll show major strides in development.
2-1 count now to Bichette. Swings on that one. Broken bat play. It'll bounce over to first. It's fielded and sent over to Rodriguez, who was able to tap the plate with his foot. 1 out now, as Kevin Biggio, playing second base, steps up into the box for the Blue Jays and quietly had himself a pretty decent year last year. Now, he is a bit older than the rest of the prospects that came up with the Blue Jays, but he's a viable bat, plays solid defense, and I think there's still a lot to be asked for with Biggio. In terms of, how much power does he have and what is his potential, what is his ceiling. But with an 0-2 count here, he's got a battle. Here's the offering. Cutter down low, swung on, fouled off there. 0-2 count remains to Biggio.
And Rodriguez painting the edges so far. That's where he has to live against Biggio because he has a great eye. He is not going to chase too much.
And you see it there. Excellent take by Biggio. 1-2 count now. Here's Rodriguez's offering. Swung through that one. Excellent changeup there. Pulls the string on him. Rodriguez's first strikeout of the game.
He started this at-bat with fastballs. The last pitch actually was a fastball low, so the come and change speeds. You can see Biggio way out in front on that one.
And now the left fielder, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. steps up to the plate. And takes a first pitch offering right in the top right corner there for a strike. He had a really good year last year, quietly. 20 home runs, a 277 average, and versatile player, especially defensively.
Well, he spent a stint down in AAA after some fielding issues at second base and reinvented himself as a corner outfielder, and he is way better for it. His bat's come alive since he's come back up, and in the field, his powerful arm is showcased quite nicely in left field.
As he fouls off that third pitch, the 0-2 offering from Rodriguez will remain 0-2 as Gurriel tries to keep this inning going for the Blue Jays. Here's the pitch, that changeup low, not quite with the same. I think the changeup that got Biggio to swing through was an 87, a little more movement on it. Rodriguez, that'll be something for him to use today. I think that changeup in many ways will dictate this outing for him. Here's the 1-2 offering now to Gurriel. That cutter low in the zone, swung on and fouled off into the seats. Gurriel trying to keep this inning going. 1-2 count now, swung on, once again fouled. Gurriel staying alive in this at-bat.
Well, and they've already seen 15 pitches from Eduardo Rodriguez here. And so even if the Jays haven't got anyone on base, they're seeing everything he's got to offer early here.
Oh, and that's a tight call there. The ump gives it to Gurriel as that changeup was right on the bottom part of the plate. 2-2 count now to Gurriel Jr., the left fielder. Again, fouled off. Gurriel showing a great ability to survive and keep taking pitches. 8 pitches now in this at-bat. Here's the offering. So that one is a high heat fastball swung through there by Gurriel. Nonetheless, a 9-pitch at-bat. And quite the workload for a first inning for Eduardo Rodriguez, but he gets through it. 1-0 Red Sox here in Toronto. And welcome back. Oh, there's a familiar face, Kevin Pillar. A longtime Blue Jays center fielder, wearing number 5 for the Red Sox today, and back in Rogers Center where they called him Superman.
Well, you can hear the cheers when he came up to bat. He got a few more cheers last year when he returned as a Giant, now wearing the enemy colors, playing for Boston. Not quite the same reaction, but still a true fan favorite here in Toronto.
And he quickly gets to an 0-2 count. Ryu not messing around this inning, at least early on here. That one swung on. Oh, grounded over to the shortstop, Bichette. A routine play. Pillar is out on the ground out to short.
Well, those type of balls are exactly what Ryu's going to generate a lot of. He's got a lot of cut and break on his fastball. Throws a cutter as well as a two-seamer quite often. And the Jays infield last year was terrible. So they're going to have to look to be a bit better, especially on that left side with the untested Bichette and the very defensively challenged Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The work over the spring that they put in seems to have paid off so far. They look sharper to begin the early campaign in Dunedin, but they'll have to carry that forward all season to protect this pitching staff.
Absolutely. You talk about protecting this pitching staff, that's a whole nother beast to talk about with, yes, the Blue Jays have Ryu, but after that, the rotation isn't too deep. Now they went out and got a couple arms, Chase Anderson, Tanner Roark, but nonetheless, with some injuries, this could be a situation where the Blue Jays defense will need to bail them out of games. It's Christian Vasquez, the 1-2 count. That one swung on over. Oh, what a play by Travis Shaw, newly acquired Blue Jay. We talk about defense. How about the right side of the infield? Excellent play there by Travis Shaw to spike that one. And 2 away now. Quickly here for the Red Sox is Michael Chavis, DHing today in the 8-hole, steps up into the box. Swings on the first pitch, 2-seam offering from Ryu there, and fouls it back into the screen. And here's the 0-1 offering from Ryu. Chavis, that one's down the line. Is it fair? Yes, it is. That one will go into the corner. Chavis rounding first. He'll head to second. Gurriel throws it in. And Michael Chavis, number 8 hitter, with a 2-out double here in the second inning.
We saw a lot of this from him early last season. When he was called up initially, he was red hot to start his campaign. Slowed up a little bit and struggled a lot in the second half with tons of strikeouts. But looking good so far. Put a nice swing on that one and made great contact.
As Mitch Moreland playing first base today. Fouls off the first offering to him. And how about Mitch Moreland, coming over a couple years ago to play first base from the Texas Rangers and 19 homers last year. As he swings into that one is into center, drops. Grichuk will get it, throws it back in. But Chavis will round third and come on in. It's 2-0 Red Sox on a 2-out single from Mitch Moreland.
2-out trouble here for Ryu. It looks like he got the pitch a little further up than he wanted. Jansen was calling for it lower in the zone, and Moreland was all over that pitch on the outside of the plate, but he goes out and gets it, drives into center field, and a quick 2-0 lead early as the Red Sox are jumping on Ryu.
Absolutely, and yeah, Ryu, you mentioned the 2-out troubles, and he's absolutely had a couple issues here now. Red Sox players being able to get some decent wood off of him, especially with some singles up the middle. Now that one, fastball right in there for a strike. 1-1 count now as Ryu tries to get out of this inning. Already 28 pitches for the newly acquired Blue Jay. Here's the offering from Ryu and a 1-1. That one is just outside that fastball. Touch 93 there is Jose Peraza. 1-for-1 in this game. Led off the game for the Red Sox and with a base hit, no less. That one swung on over into right field. Hernandez giving chase. Looks like he's under it, and he will get there for the third out. 2-0 Red Sox as they add one here in the second inning in Toronto. And now bottom of the second inning as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. steps into the box. And Vladdy, of course, the number 1 prospect in MLB.com last season. And, he delivered in his first game at least. And throughout the season, he, up and down, some good streaks, some highs, some lows, as you would expect from a rookie.
Well, he spent all offseason getting more fit, losing weight, and strengthening his upper body. So he was killing balls last year with insane exit velocities in the top 5% of the league. So it'll be interesting to see after a full offseason of conditioning where he'll be this year.
And that one swung on over into deep left center. Chase is there. Can he get there? Oh, my goodness. Kevin Pillar with the catch. Excellent job tracking that one down. He's used to that in this barn. He knows where the wall is. And that one just kept on carrying.
Yeah, he put a great swing on that one. A fastball that was left in probably a bit more elevated than Rodriguez would have wanted it, but Pillar, ranging all the way back to the warning track, calls that in.
And now Eduardo Rodriguez, first pitch offering to Shaw is a changeup outside. Travis Shaw, newly acquired Blue Jay from the Milwaukee Brewers, and of course, former Red Sox as well. 2-0 offering to Shaw. Makes that 3-0 as Rodriguez can't hit the plate at the moment. That changeup seems to be missing early on here more than it's working for Rodriguez.
And Shaw's a guy that'll let the ball go low if it's going to be down there. He doesn't swing down in the zone very often, and he's got a pretty good track record of waiting for his pitch.
As he swings on that fastball offering there from Rodriguez. Full count now as he fouls that one off. 26 pitches for Rodriguez. Here's the offering. That one once again fouled off. Very similar place. Rodriguez puts that one, the fastball up in the zone.
Good battle from Shaw. His on-base percentage is a full 60 points lower against lefties than righties.
And he strikes out there as Eduardo Rodriguez delivers. And for Rodriguez, you know, this is going to be a testing season for him because he's expected in many ways to be a leader on this rotation. We talked a little bit earlier how this rotation could struggle this year. And, you know, having to, you know, he gets the opportunity to be an opening day starter, I guess, but lots of pressure. And the first pitch offering to Teoscar Hernandez, who is 5 for 14 off Rodriguez in his career, is a strike, paints the corner there. And that changeup offering once again low at the Hernandez's feet there. Hernandez playing right field today for the Blue Jays. And that cutter up and in there on Hernandez. It's a 2-1 count now.
Well, it looks like Hernandez is going to have a chance to run away with the starting job in right field this year. Kind of bounced around the outfield in the past couple of years, bit of stint in center back last year in 2019. But with McKinney not making the team and just Fisher and Alford out on the bench in the outfield, it seems like Hernandez is going to have a real shot to run away with this.
Well, and I think the question for Hernandez will be his bat, right? I mean, his defense is what it is. He's a decent outfielder. He has a strong arm. Needs to obviously work on his range, but you know that's something that can be improved upon. As a fouls off that fastball offering, it's a full count now to Teoscar Hernandez, but it's his batting, you know, his strikeout rate. Can he, you know, improve his on-base percentage? Things like that. As he swings through that low and inside cutter offering from Rodriguez. Rodriguez on fire here as he keeps the Blue Jays runless early in this one and hitless. It's 2-0 Red Sox. And welcome back. Here, top of the third inning now between the Red Sox and the Blue Jays here on opening day. As Hyunjin Ryu at 30 pitches. Well, now pitch to Andrew Benintendi, who's 0 for 1 on the day. First pitch offering low and outside. That fastball hitting 90. And that changeup also outside. Now a 2-0 hitter's count to Benintendi, who has a chance to make some hay here as the leadoff batter for the Red Sox in the third inning here. And he swings on that one, fouls that one back, and it'll reach the seats past the third base line. The 2-1 offering now from Ryu. Benintendi once again fouls that one off pretty much to the same spot.
Benintendi in right field today. Betts his old spot from last year. Played a lot of left last year, but in this current iteration from Ron Renick, he's got JD Martinez in left. So it'll be interesting to see how long that experiment lasts.
Absolutely, and lots of experiments going on. Another one is JD Martinez as Andrew Benintendi strikes out and gets thrown out. But JD Martinez, you know, is he a DH? How much outfield can he play? As he gets older, how much you want to rest his legs? I mean, you need that bat in the lineup if you're the Red Sox. It'll be interesting to see how they manage that experiment as well. As Ryu gets that pitch in there. Excellent cutter. Sneaks it in there for a strike against a premier hitter, Martinez. 1-1 count now, top of the third. 1 out here in Toronto. As Ryu's changeup offering is in the dirt. 2-1 now, and he's had some issues with command early on here, but for the most part, the issue has been when he has 2 outs. But right now, he's got the bases clear with just 1 out, and you'd like to get the number 3 hitter for the Red Sox out here if you're Ryu, especially to try to get a groove going. He hasn't really gotten into that rhythm yet. 2-2 count now to Martinez, number 3 hitter. That one swung on over to second base. Fielded by Biggio and over to Shaw for the routine out. 2 away now for Ryu in the top of the third inning.
Well, and next it'll be Xander Bogaerts back up for his second at-bat. Didn't quite get a base hit in his first at-bat, but he lined it hard. That was the ball that Gurriel fell down chasing. That ball was lasered, but just right to Gurriel, only a few feet away from him.
And what a play that was. I mean, that one confused everyone up here in the broadcast booth and in the Rogers Center. Very confusing play, but Gurriel, excellent job by staying with that earlier in the game. As 1-0 count now.
In 2019, Betts was the superstar, but a lot of people probably wouldn't guess this. Bogaerts actually led Betts in both F-WAR and B-WAR last year. He was statistically, looking at the sabermetrics, the best player on the Red Sox. So without Betts' departure, it looks like Bogaerts will be the guy that's going to try and shoulder some more of that load.
Yeah, and I think if you ask a lot of Red Sox fans about the Mookie Betts departure, I think they'd tell you, well, we just lost our best player. But perhaps Bogaerts can start to fill that void a little bit as he flies that one out to left. Gurriel giving chase. That one will drop, however, right in front of him. And Bogaerts reaches with 2 outs. Another trend here.
Well, that's baseball for you. I mean, the first at-bat, he hit that ball a lot better than he hit this one, but just finds enough of a bloop on this to drop it in front of Gurriel. So now he's reached base, and he drove in the first run, and pretty good start to the season for Xander Bogaerts.
Absolutely. Right, with an RBI already, and now a single as well. He's poised to have a huge season ahead. And now Rafael Devers, another guy who should have a big season ahead of him. No longer a prospect, now being relied upon in a big role for the Red Sox. Swings through that curveball offering from Ryu. 0-2 here, 2 out. Ryu, the chance to get out of the inning. That fastball low and inside to Devers now, who trying to keep this inning alive for the Red Sox, who were up 2-0 here on opening day. And that fastball offering outside. And, you know, Ryu now up to 48 pitches. You'd imagine he'd probably go 100, all things said and done. Here's Bichette. Throws over to Biggio, fields it cleanly, and the Blue Jays get out of the inning clean for the first time this game. 2-0 Red Sox here on opening day. And welcome back now is Randall Grichuk, who hit 31 home runs in 2019 and 80 RBI as well. A new contract last season as well, and he's playing center today for the Blue Jays. Steps into the batter's box against Eduardo Rodriguez, who has been lethal so far through 2 innings.
Well, Grichuk last season started on opening day in the cleanup spot. He's been bumped down the order quite a bit by all the rookies that came up last season, Bichette, Biggio, and Guerrero. So now down in the 7th spot, maybe a bit less pressure on him to perform offensively.
Yeah, and certainly a leadership role, I'd imagine, for Grichuk in that locker room as well with the young kids. And, you know, you need some skill guys in the lineup to complement these young players. Otherwise, you know, and who will these young players learn from? You know, you get a guy like Randall Grichuk in there who has some playoff experience. It's good for the team. As that one swung on, beats the shift. That one will go past the first baseman and into right field. Oh, and actually, wow, he'll round first rather, and Grichuk will end up at second. Wow, what an excellent base running display from Grichuk there.
That ball not hit all that hard, but just right down the right field line, exactly where you need to put it. A bold move to go for 2. I wouldn't have expected him to challenge the arm of Benintendi, but the aggressive base running pays off, and he slides in there safely, and all of a sudden there's a runner in scoring position here with none out for Drury.
And you don't exactly think of Grichuk as a threat on the base pass as much as maybe you should, or as much as maybe the Red Sox should, as yes, he challenges Benintendi's arm, and it pays off. As it's a leadoff double for Grichuk here. And now Brandon Drury, number 8 hitter and DHing, steps into the batter's box, takes the first pitch ball. Of course, Drury coming over from the Yankees a couple years ago in the J-Happ deal. Also brought in Billy McKinney. And that changeup offering from Rodriguez also inside.
Drury, one of the last guys to make the team out of camp. It basically came down to him and Tellez. But he had strung together a nice last week in the Grapefruit League, and I guess they were looking for a righty bat and the versatility that Drury brings. He can play a little bit of outfield, play on both corners of the infield, and that won him the job.
Absolutely, and it's always good to have some depth, especially with some guys who can play versatile all around the diamond, and Brandon Drury fills that bill, at least for the Blue Jays at the moment, as that fastball offering is slid into the top inner part of the plate there for a full count now. Rodriguez, so Rodriguez surrenders his first hit of the game, first hit of the season, I should say, and now he's in a full count here, the number 8 hitter. Potentially in some trouble here as that one is swung on, driven to deep right center. Benintendi ranging back, but it's off the wall. He'll field that off the bounce. 1 run is in, and Drury cruises into second base. A double that drives in Grichuk. What a play from the 7-8 hitters for the Blue Jays here in the 3rd inning.
That ball was just stung into the gap. It was a fastball that cut a lot of the plate. It was on the outer half, but right where Drury likes it, just slightly below the center of the zone, and he took that opposite field, stayed with it.
Oh, and here's another pitch going back deep right field. Benintendi looking once again off the wall. Wow, Danny Jansen hits that one, and look at this, a hitting parade as Eduardo Rodriguez is in some trouble in the 3rd inning.
Back-to-back-to-back doubles, and the best part for the Jays, now the lineup is turning over. This is exactly what you draw up. You want from the bottom of the order, guys, just to reach base, and 3 extra base hits puts them in a great spot to tie this game up now with the top of the order and Bo Bichette coming up.
And what a chance for Bo Bichette, who was 0 for 1 on the day. Eduardo Rodriguez now, he's surrendered, like you mentioned, drew 3 straight doubles to lead off this inning, and now he's got a real test in front of him with Bichette, Biggio, and Gurriel Jr. coming up. And that offering outside there, a 2-0 hitters count now to Bichette. Eduardo Rodriguez up to 48 pitches.
Bichette made some pretty soft contact in the 1st inning, just kind of bouncing it up the first base line on the put out where the first baseman just flipped to pitcher to retire him easily.
And that fastball just outside, low and away for a 3-0 count now to Bichette. Green light here?
100%.
See, and decides to take that one. And now he takes that walk, and bases are loaded, none out in the bottom of the 3rd for the Blue Jays, with Calvin Biggio coming up to the plate. Struck out in the 1st inning, but what an opportunity in front of him now.
He's the guy you want up with bases loaded, none out, because he's not going to chase pitches out of the zone too much.
And you see it right there, Drew. He decides to take that changeup offering outside. Eduardo Rodriguez struggling with command at the moment. He's thrown 5 straight balls and now just really needs to get settled here as the crowd is on top of him, and the Blue Jays threatening to come back in this ballgame here as Biggio swings through that one. A powerful swing, but it is fouled off.
That one was laced off the front of the 200 level, way foul, but that one was lasered.
1-1 count now to Biggio. Swung on over to the first base side. Oh, what a play to catcher. Oh, to home plate, back to first, and they get them both. Wow, excellent defense there from Moreland and Vasquez.
Phenomenal play by Moreland, but that ball was hit so hard that he had time to do that. That ball got him on quick, and the catcher running from third base, Drury running from third base had no chance at the plate, and Bichette was not able to beat that out, Biggio was not able to beat that out, so the double play really could bring in quick end to this rally.
That one's ground over to Devers, back to Vasquez, tags him at the plate, and he is out. Jansen is called out. Wow, and take a look at that as we take a look now at Drury's double, but ended up being to no avail. 2-1 Red Sox remains as Rodriguez and the Red Sox get out of a bit of a jam in the 3rd inning. Welcome back inside Rogers Center here now, and as we get set for some more baseball, is Kevin Pillar due up for the Red Sox. And the former Blue Jay, as mentioned, already made a nice catch earlier in this game and also grounded out too short in the second inning. Now comes up in the top of the fourth, and if you're just joining us, in the prior inning, the Blue Jays had a great opportunity, bases loaded, none out, but to no avail as they still chased the Red Sox 2-1 in this contest. Hyunjin Ryu has had some issues in this game, but had a pretty clean third inning for the most part, and was able to at least keep runs off the board. So it'll be interesting to see what he does in the fourth now.
Rodriguez's control got him into trouble last inning, but great evasion to get out of it. You walk a guy and give up 3 doubles. It's rare that you only give up 1 run after all that.
And a lot of credit goes to his defense as well. Moreland, Vasquez, and Devers all making incredible plays. As Pillar strikes out, Blue Jays fans have seen that a few times as well, as Ryu gets his second strikeout of the game on a beautiful pitch there.
Well, that's kind of the book on Pillar. Last year, he led the entire MLB on pitches swung at out of the zone. He swung at 48.8% of all pitches that were balls last year.
And now Christian Vasquez takes ball 1. Yes, Kevin Pillar, that is one of the major issues with him. Be interesting to see if that changes in Boston. You know, him coming back to the AL East, if his hitting touch will continue the way it did when he went to San Francisco. But Christian Vasquez, in his 5th year now with the Red Sox, in the 7-hole today, made a couple good defensive plays last inning to help the Red Sox get out of a jam, but he's in a bit of a jam himself now at the plate. 1-2. Here's Ryu's offering. That one swung on past the third base side for foul. One-two offering from Ryu. Once again, that one swung on, fouled. Over into the Red Sox bench area. And the count will remain 1-2 with 1 out here in the top of the fourth. Now, Hyunjin Ryu up to 58 pitches. Definitely something to keep an eye on, as the Blue Jays bullpen will keep an eye on that as well. As Vasquez swings at that changeup, tries to chase it outside, but once again, Ryu, back-to-back strikeouts in the 4th inning.
That's his 3rd strikeout in the last 2 innings. Looking like he's locking in a little bit after the struggles early on. Let's see if Ryu can start to cruise now after the early struggles.
Here's Michael Chavis, who contributed to some of those early troubles with a double earlier in the game in the 2nd inning. He hit 276 in 2019, DHing today for the Red Sox. 2 out. Ryu's had some trouble with 2 outs earlier in this game, but he's 1 strike away from getting out of this inning, as he has an 0-2 count out of Chavis. Here's the pitch. Changeup swung through. 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts for Hyunjin Ryu. Looks like he's starting to get locked in. 2-1 Red Sox here in Toronto. And welcome back to Rogers Center. Happy opening day, everyone. It's 2-1 Red Sox here as we head now to the bottom of the 4th inning. And Lourdes Gurriel Jr. set to step into the box any moment here. And Eduardo Rodriguez ran into some trouble in the 3rd inning, starting pitcher for the Red Sox, but pardon me, looks like Vlad Guerrero Jr. steps in the box. My apologies. But first he's going to tie his shoes. Can't forget that. Couldn't do that during the commercial break, I guess, but he's 0 for 1 on the day.
Got a hold of one on his first at-bat, but just didn't quite get enough of it as he drove it out to the warning track.
And that first pitch offering from Rodriguez here in the 4th inning is a ball. Low all the way. As that changeup once again missing low. 2-0 count now to Guerrero Jr.
Rodriguez got into some trouble with his lack of command. The 2 early balls are not a good sign.
And that one swung on right up the middle. Guerrero goes right back at him. And there's a single for him. As that one gets down, and now a leadoff runner on for the Blue Jays. Something very important if they want to get back in this ballgame.
Well, that's their 5th runner so far today, but just the 1 run to show for it. So with none out, the early runner is going to be an opportunity to get Rodriguez while he's been shaky.
And we'll see if that shakiness continues for Rodriguez, as that first pitch offering to Travis Shaw is fouled off. He went 0 for 1 with a strikeout in the 2nd inning. And Rodriguez, I think one of the keys for Rodriguez now is going to try to stay locked in, but work on the command, right? And try to, sequence his at-bats better. I'm sure him and Christian Vasquez discussed that during the break. 1-1 count now to Travis Shaw. That one's blooped up. Oh, Rodriguez is going to field it, and did he get it? He did. Oh, excellent defense there by Eduardo Rodriguez.
That is a tough play for a pitcher, especially a lefty, because when you're ranging to your right side, you have to plant and turn around to get your arm throwing all the way over the first base. Shaw doesn't have the most speed to beat it out, but a bang-bang play nonetheless, and a nice job by Eduardo Rodriguez.
And now Teoscar Hernandez steps to the plate. Violent swing there through that high heat. It's an 0-1 count now. Rodriguez possibly starting to feel a bit of a groove. And by the way, Guerrero Jr. actually advanced to second on that last play. So be interesting to see what kind of options the Blue Jays have in terms of trying to get Guerrero home. And scoring position now is Hernandez, number 6 hitter today, and a 1-1 count. Rodriguez is offering. Hernandez drills that one over to right field. Benintendi is underneath it. He'll make the play. Guerrero will not test the arm. Probably a good idea. Now 2 away for Rodriguez here.
And so Grichuk stepping up again. He was the first of the 3 doubles in his last appearance. So it looks like he's at least seeing Rodriguez decently well. And now with a runner in scoring position and 2 outs, it'll be a big at-bat.
Massive at-bat here for Grichuk. Can he potentially get another double or another hit as he swings on that one? First pitch over into center. Pilar is underneath this one, and he'll make the catch. And Rodriguez gets out of a bit of a jam here in the 4th inning. Moreland Peraza, Benintendi due up next for the Red Sox. And welcome back now as Mitch Moreland steps, the number 9 hitter for the Boston Red Sox, steps into the box. And Ryu, last inning, he had 3 straight strikeouts. And all of a sudden, he could be in cruise control here. Be interesting to see what he can do now in the 5th inning, as he kicks things off with painting the corner. Strike 1 to Moreland. And that offering a little low there. 1-1 count now to Moreland. Noticing a lot of low and away. And it looks, again, staying low on Moreland. That changeup 2-1 count now. Moreland being patient here as he swings on that changeup in the zone. 2-2 counts. He fouls that one off. Here's the offering. 2-2 pitch. Moreland trying to stay alive in this at-bat. Swings it over to first base. Shaw will field it and step on the plate. 1 away now for Ryu and the Blue Jays, or the Red Sox rather, in the top of the 5th inning.
Shaw, a sure-handed defender over at first base. He can also pick it pretty well at third. So if we see Tellez come up later in the season, that gives the Jays some options of what they want to do with their corner infielders.
And that corner outfield all year should be fascinating to see how that works. Again, we talk about the versatility of many different players in this organization, in this lineup, and Charlie Montoyo, second-year manager, will have lots of decisions to make as the season goes on. But we stay in the moment here. Game number 1 of opening day. It's 2-1 Red Sox here as Jose Peraza, the leadoff hitter, 1 for 2 on the day, tries to extended this inning a little bit longer than Ryu and company for the Blue Jays would like. 1-2 count. Makes it 2-2. Excellent take there on that changeup. And that changeup offering is getting lots of swings, or at least last inning did for Ryu. As Peraza swings on that inside offering, that one's blooped up, and Shaw will make the routine grab. 2 away now.
And that's a textbook pitch for Hyunjin Ryu. He's not going to blaze fastballs by hitters, but he needs to jam them on the inside half, especially against righties like Peraza that aren't going to be power threats. If you can get in on their hands like that fastball was, you're going to generate a lot of soft contact, which is how he needs to live for his success.
And that fastball paints right on the outside part of the plate there to Benintendi, the number 2 hitter. 0 for 2 on the day as he swings at that low changeup. Certainly feels like Ryu is getting into a rhythm now. I think it's just a matter of him, polishing off that sequence. And also the Red Sox, like we mentioned, have a pretty good lineup to test Ryu. But he's been able to manage here in the middle portion of this ball game now. Up to 75 pitches. 0-2 count out of Benintendi. Ryu trying to get out of this inning clean. And that one is low. Fastball offering low now, a 1-2 count. And of course, Hyunjin Ryu coming over. 4 years, $80 million. Big ticket. And a cutter delivered there. Grounded over to third base. Guerrero fields over to Shaw. And that's a 3 up, 3 down for Ryu, who's gotten 6 out in a row. Still 2-1 Red Sox here in Toronto. Welcome back, everyone. Now as we enter the bottom of the 5th inning, still 2-1 Red Sox, and Brandon Drury, the number 8 hitter, will get back into the batter's box, DHing today off his feet. We talked about in the last inning the versatility of this Blue Jays lineup in terms of defense. As Drury lines that one over the first base line, does it get down in play? No, that will be foul. But we talk about the versatility. Brandon Drury, as you mentioned, Drew, somebody who can play a wide variety of positions. As he sails that one out to deep left field. Oh, once again fouled. A couple debatable foul calls here. Very close calls to both sides for Drury as it's a 1-2 count. He takes that fastball offering there. 2-2 count now as Rodriguez delivers that one once again fouled off by Drury. Staying alive here.
Well, a good battle. Last at bat, he took a pitch on the outer half and drove it opposite field.
And he swings through that one. Wasn't able to drive that one this time as Rodriguez picks up his 5th strikeout and a beautiful changeup pitch there.
Another strikeout for Rodriguez. He has been racking up the strikeouts. That's his 5th on the day, all of them swinging.
Is Danny Jansen, who we hardly even got a chance to talk about before he swung away and got a double in the 3rd inning. But, .218 average last year, 15 home runs, and catching Ryu today. With an always changing pitching staff, catching, especially as a young catcher, that can't be easy. As he hits that one up the middle, Bogarts fields that and sends it over to Moreland. Now 2 away in bottom of the 5th inning.
Well, it looks like both pitchers are finding a bit of a groove now. We saw the 3 runs collectively put up early in the first 3 innings. And now it looks as though towards the middle half of the game, they're finding their spots.
And now Bo Bichette steps up. He is 0 for 1 with a walk on the day. 2 outs trying to keep this inning going for the Blue Jays. Rodriguez, as you mentioned, you're starting to find his groove a little bit.
And so for Bichette, an interesting note about him batting leadoff is he's going to want batters on base from the bottom of the order when he comes up, because in 2019, he had some pretty drastic splits with and without a shift.
As he grounds it over to first base there, It hits right into the shift on that one. Moreland is able to field that. Remains 2-1 as Rodriguez pitches a clean 5th inning here in Toronto. And welcome back now in the top of the 6th inning in the Blue Jays bullpen. Shun Yamaguchi and Wilmer Font warming as Hyunjin Ryu at 77 pitches now and going through his, his 3rd time through the lineup. And, with that being the case, it's going to be interesting to see how Montoyo manages Ryu and this pitching staff in this game.
Well, 2 interesting pieces up. Font we saw last year mostly as an opener for the Jays, who's transitioned more to a traditional relief role this year. And Yamaguchi, the new addition they signed out of the Japanese Baseball League.
As JD Martinez 2-1 count now to him as Ryu. We talked about in the last inning, Ryu's starting to get into a groove. But with 80 pitches now and now going through the lineup once again and having to go against the 3, 4, 5 hitters for the Red Sox, it's not going to be very easy to keep that groove going. 2-2 count now to Martinez, trying to get the first out of this inning here. Martinez grounds that one over to second base. Biggio is there. He'll make the routine play. Martinez is out.
That's his 2nd ground out to second base, and Ryu's done a good job of keeping Martinez on the ground. He's a very dangerous hitter, probably the best pure hitter in this game tonight on either team, and keeping him on the ground is exactly where you want him.
And now Xander Bogaerts. Again, this lineup doesn't get any easier when it comes to the Red Sox. And Xander Bogaerts, another one of these pure hitters for Boston. Hitting number 4 today. He's 1 for 1 on the day. As he takes that low and inside changeup offering. The changeup for Ryu not working quite as well as recently in the last inning or so, but I'm sure he'll get that back at some point. As that cutter is on the upper outside corner of the plate. Oh, and there's the changeup just as I talk about it. Ryu delivers the changeup and makes me put my foot in my mouth there. What a delivery.
And he's matched Rodriguez's 5 strikeouts now. That first changeup was down in the dirt inside, but this one right where he wanted on the outer half of the plate, down at the bottom of the zone. And that's his 5th strikeout today.
Yeah, excellent job by Ryu. A very solid outing after a tough start as Devers drives that one to deep right field. Hernandez giving chase, and he'll get there. Another clean inning for Hyunjin Ryu as we head to the bottom of the 6th. 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up for the Blue Jays. And bottom of the 6th inning now is Ryan Brashear and Darwinson Hernandez get warming in the Red Sox bullpen. Kevin Biggio 0 for 2 on the day, trying to kickstart this inning and get that tying run that the Blue Jays ever so need. As his first pitch swung on, going deep to deep right field. Benintendi is there to make the catch. Excellent range on Benintendi there.
We talked about the Red Sox outfield positions. Another complexity was Alex Verdugo, who they acquired and expected to be in their opening day lineup from the Dodgers. He's gone down with an injury and probably won't be back until mid-May, an injury that developed during spring training. So when he comes back, it'll be interesting to see how that affects things and whether or not Martinez will go back to full-time DHing.
Yes, and of course that Dodgers trade, Mookie Betts departing along with David Price as the Red Sox needed to shave payroll. Now they're going to be making do with trying to, again, build for the future, bringing in more youth. That's their goal. But they're up 2-1 in this ball game. 0-2 count out to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. That's a high fastball offering 2-2 count, or 1-2 count rather. 79 pitches for Rodriguez as both bullpens are now up and alive.
Well, we'll see how far the lefty Rodriguez can go, but after Shaw, who's in the hole right now, the Jays have 5 righties in a row, so we might see Ryan Brazier getting ready to come in later.
As that one is flown out to center field, Kevin Pillar is there to make the catch. 2 away now as Rodriguez stays in a groove, stays cruising along here, and if he can get Shaw out, or Guerrero out here rather, do we see him start the 7th inning potentially, or do they go to the bullpen?
Well, he's been locked in. He's got 9 straight outs. So I think you've got to ride him out, especially with the lead. He's looked good, and this is not a Red Sox bullpen that's full of too much talent. A lot of untested arms and a lot of arms that you don't have full trust in quite yet in this early season. So I think we'll see Ron Renicky really riding out Rodriguez for all he's got tonight.
And you mentioned Ron Renicky, one of the latest additions to the Red Sox. That one's driven into deep center, but Pillar is there. Guerrero flies out to center field, and still 2-1 Red Sox as we move along now in this ball game on opening day 2020. And now Shun Yamaguchi will make his Blue Jays debut, his Major League Baseball debut, standing at 6'2", 198 pounds. He's a 32-year-old coming over from Japan, and he's got a former Blue Jay at the plate to deal with here in the top of the 7th inning as the Blue Jays trail the Red Sox 2-1.
Similar to Ryu style-wise, Yamaguchi is not someone that's going to overpower you. On the mound, he throws a fastball slider, but his main pitch is his splitter-type forkball mix. It kind of breaks much like Masahiro Tanaka's, where it's got sharp late movement, and it comes in the mid-80s range.
And Yamaguchi, interesting delivery as well. Very smooth, very clean as he delivers that fastball right on the inside part of the plate to Pillar. 0-2 count now. Hits 96 on the gun there. That fastball just outside. Pillar takes. And now here's the 1-2 offering. Pillar grounds that just past the third base side. And, for Kevin Pillar, a bit of redemption in coming to the Red Sox. You think there's perhaps any biting back at the Blue Jays? Coming back as for Pillar from free agency. I'm sure he had a couple different suitors.
Well, I'm sure this is a place that he's happy to start opening day and begin his Red Sox campaign. A very familiar stadium. And being back in the AL East, his National League tenure started off well, didn't quite finish the way he wanted, still got an MVP vote out of it. But yeah, back in familiar parks in a familiar division against pitchers he's played against his whole career. We'll see what 2020's got for Pillar.
As he takes ball 4 there from Yamaguchi. And he'll take his base as well on a 7-pitch at bat. And Pillar not walking too much, but nonetheless gets on here. And now the leadoff runner on first for Christian Vasquez, the number 7 hitter, who's 0 for 2 on the day, trying to extend this Red Sox lead now into the Blue Jays bullpen. And that first pitch is outside. We're seeing Yamaguchi struggle a little bit with that fastball outside or away from the plate a little bit here. And that one is driven, through the right side of the infield. That one gets through there as Christian Vasquez with a single now. And now 2 on, first and second for the Red Sox, none out. Yamaguchi here with 2 hits on him.
First 2 batters of his Major League career. Again, this is his debut. He's 32-year-old righty coming out of Japan. Last season, he put up a 16-4 record.
Yeah, that's an excellent season for Shun Yamaguchi last year in the NBL with Yomiuri, in which he pitched 181 innings. So certainly got his work in, that's for sure. 1-0 count now as he drops that curveball in the very top right part of the plate. 1-1 count now to Michael Chavis, who's 1 for 2 on the day, DHing. And Chavis with a great opportunity here to try to extend this Red Sox lead, as they will most likely be entering their bullpen soon as well. Here's the offering. That's a 86-mile-per-hour forkball right down the middle, but Chavis fouls that one off. Got to be a tough pitch.
Yeah, that's his specialty pitch right there. He wants it down in the zone more. That one hung up in a dangerous spot.
And he drops that curveball a little bit lower, and especially on that single from Vasquez, the curveball just kind of dropping in some dangerous spots. Need to work on that command, especially with those kind of slower pitches.
Well, you mentioned the workload that Yamaguchi put up last year. Gives some interesting options for the Jays that he's going to be working out of the bullpen. They've got him and Pannone and Gaviglio that can all go multiple innings here.
Be interesting to see whether or not maybe they try to use one of those as an opener at some point during the season. I imagine it at least gives them some flexibility, as that slow curveball gets in there just outside for a ball. 2-2 count now. So Michael Chavis trying to extend this lead. That one swung out over his shortstop, Bichette, to Biggio for 1, to Shaw for 2. The double play is completed. Excellent job there by the young Blue Jays infield.
Yeah, great piece of infielding there. Yamaguchi gets the ground ball he needs, and as Bichette's ranging away from second base, he corrals it, flips to second, and the clean pivot throw from Biggio. As all of a sudden, this whole inning's turned around, and Yamaguchi's just 1 out away from getting out of it.
Now that's baseball for you. Things can change pretty quickly. Runner on third now as Mitch Moreland, the Marion hitter, who had a base hit and an RBI in the second inning.
Moreland's no typical 9-hitter here. He's just down in the lineup with the lefty starter on the mound in Ryu. But now that he's facing a righty is where Moreland's true hitting skill can be on a bit more display. He's got pretty stark splits, but against this righty reliever, he's going to be a tough task before the lineup turns over for the Bo Sox here.
3-0 count now. Danny Jansen, telling Shun Yamaguchi in his very first Major League inning just to take it easy, calm down a little bit. Don't let the moment get too big for you. Huge pitch here. Here's the offering to Moreland, and that one's in there. Excellent pitch. Right in the inside part of the plate, although if Moreland was swinging at that, might not have been a bad pitch to hit either.
Still just Font up in the Jays' pen. Could see him if the lineup turns over.
As Moreland extends for that fastball well outside the zone, and he fouls that one off.
Would have been a pretty clear ball 4 if he were to take that one.
And now a full count. Moreland's put himself in. Runner on third. And that fastball, oh, it's caught a ball 4. A very close pitch there.
And a bold take from Moreland after extending the zone so much on the previous pitch. That one was right at the letters, and you could hear the 45,000 umps in attendance here did not like that ball 4 call.
Yes, and I don't think Shun Yamaguchi was too fond either, but make an interesting point about Moreland going for the prior pitch that was well outside, but deciding to take that one. Excellent job by him nonetheless, and he's on. All of a sudden, first and third now, as Jose Peraza, 1 for 3 on the day, trying to extend the Red Sox lead as that one's fouled down the first base line, and it'll get into the seats.
Well, we mentioned briefly the Red Sox bullpen is not as strong as it's been in past years, and just the 1-run lead going into late innings is not the most confident situation for them. If they can get some insurance here, that'll be massive.
And Peraza trying to give them some insurance now, and he has a decent opportunity here. Yamaguchi, on the other hand, 26 pitches in his first relief duty in the majors, as that one is driven to deep left center. Gurriel going back. Oh, Grichuk will get there. Wow, excellent job by Grichuk in center field. The veteran of this Blue Jays squad makes an excellent play. Bails Yamaguchi out, and it'll remain 2-1 heading to the bottom of the 7th inning as we stretch in Toronto. And welcome back to Rogers Center here on opening day. It's 2-1 Red Sox here in Boston, Toronto. First game of a 3-game series here in Toronto to open off the season. And Eduardo Rodriguez at 84 pitches is remaining in the game, at least to start the 7th against the lefty Travis Shaw.
Well, 3 clean innings straight for Rodriguez without allowing a base runner. So it makes sense. Rennicke's giving him some room to breathe here. Some different action in the Red Sox bullpen. Hernandez and Brazier were up last inning. This inning, it's Barnes and Taylor, the 2 relievers that Rennicke indicated late in spring training were going to share the setup duties. So we may see one here in the 7th, but if not, it looks like they'll be ready for the 8th.
And now that it's a 1-2 count to Travis Shaw, trying to get on here to lead off the inning for the Blue Jays to try to mount this small yet seemingly insurmountable comeback at the moment. You know, they've been down 2-1 majority of the game, and they've had a lot of opportunity, just haven't been able to drive in that much-needed second run as Shaw strikes out swinging there. 1 away now.
That's his 2nd strikeout swinging against Rodriguez, and I'm sure that factored in the decision to send him back out here for the 7th. He's looked good against Shaw and looked good against Hernandez, too, who's due up next so far today.
Should mention it is a 4-game series. This not a 3-gamer. Of course, the opening series of any baseball season is always a little different, so my apologies there. The first of 4 games here at the Rogers Center to kick things off. And bottom of the 7th inning now as Travis Shaw struck out prior, so now Teoscar Hernandez 0-for-2 on the day steps up again, trying to get on here, trying to get this tying run as we enter the late stages of the game. Eduardo Rodriguez still in, still dealing, and the so-called ace of this Red Sox staff putting in work today and doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, he's looked good. I mean, big shoes to fill. We mentioned to try and replicate Chris Sale, but 1 run through 6, he's looked great.
And this one's going back. Wow, scratch that, Drew. That one is out of here. Teoscar Hernandez delivers that tying run that the Blue Jays needed. First home run of the season for Hernandez. First home run of the season for the Blue Jays, as Hernandez takes Rodriguez deep. And this ball game is all tied up.
Well, I'm not sure who's going to be in the dugout to give him the sunflower seed shower. That's been his job the past couple seasons, but when he's the one rounding the bases, they'll fall on someone else. We talked earlier, Hernandez being a bat-first outfielder, going to need a better season here in 2020 than he showed in 2019 because his defense not going to get him a spot in the lineup. He's going to need that bat to be doing what it's done so far tonight.
An excellent start to the season for Hernandez with that home run to tie the game, as Eduardo Rodriguez, after surrendering that bomb, will now exit the game. And still a very good outing for Rodriguez, just left in a little bit too long there, and you wonder about whether or not maybe the Red Sox should have taken Rodriguez out earlier and not let him face Hernandez after striking out Shaw, as Ryan Brazier enters the game.
Well, it's tough for Rodriguez. A great outing, like you mentioned. He'd been dominating the last few innings. And for him to leave the game and ultimately he'll get no decision on this one, tough for his opening day start, which I'm sure Red Sox Nation will definitely take for the role that he's been put in.
And now Ryan Brazier will toe the rubber for the Red Sox. His first pitch offering a strike to Grichuk. And now here's the 0-1 offering. Grichuk 1-for-2 on the day. Began that double parade earlier in the 3rd inning. And we'll see what he has now in the 7th with a tie ball game. Oh, and that's a strikeout, swinging strikeout there, right through that low and inside fastball. Brazier delivering the heat early on here.
Well, Brazier's bounced around the leagues a little bit. He debuted way back in 2013 with the Angels, but it wasn't until a couple years ago with the Red Sox he resurfaced in 2018. He's been a pretty decent piece in their pen, not necessarily going to be a stud out of the bullpen that's going to carry a bunch of games, but he's put together a respectable set of years, 3.5 ERA between 2018 and 2019. Last year it was up at 4.85, but he's looking to rebound in 2020.
He's off to a great start now. Struck out Grichuk, and he's got an 0-2 count now to Brandon Drury. Number 8 hitter today, as that fastball bit high above the zone, 1-2 count. And you talk about this Red Sox bullpen, you mentioned that they're, untested and a lot of new arms. But with Ryan Brashear coming in here, and especially with guys like Matt Barnes still in that pen, and with the lack of rotation help, this bullpen is going to be tested this season as Brashear strikes out Drury there. And he will get his 2 outs, both swinging. Excellent job by Ryan Brashear coming out of the Red Sox bullpen to keep this game tied as we head to the 8th inning in Rogers Center. Welcome back. Now, top of the 8th inning, 2-2 ball game as the right fielder Andrew Benintendi will step up to the plate. Now, Shun Yamaguchi will remain in the game for the Blue Jays, and really interesting to see now Montoyo using this bullpen. 27 pitches, but Yamaguchi has started in the past, so perhaps he's more comfortable with multiple innings.
Yeah, I think that just speaks to the versatility that the Jays pen had, because coming in relief in the 7th inning, usually that's a position where you only see an inning or 2 of work and rarely a second one. So the fact he's back out after escaping the jam in the last inning just shows the trust that Montoyo has in his new reliever.
0-2 count now, and that one swung on. Benintendi swings on that over, grounded right over the second baseman Biggio. He will field that cleanly. And Benintendi is thrown out. 1 away now for Yamaguchi, who's up to 30 pitches in this outing, but by all accounts seems to be all right, seems to be cruising here, but he'll have no easy task as he has the number 3 and 4 hitters, starting with JD Martinez now at the plate. He's 1 for 3 on the day. This is that slow curveball offering outside for ball 1.
And Font still throwing in the Jays pen, just the lone righty up right now.
Font, the opener last season in many cases for the Blue Jays. 1-1 count now to Martinez as Yamaguchi gets that one in there for a strike.
A look around the other games going on in the AL East today. The Yankees are up 3-2 in Baltimore. That game's in the 8th inning. And also in the 8th inning, Pittsburgh is ahead of the Tampa Bay Rays at the Trop 4-3. Pittsburgh jumped out in front 2-0, but then it was the heroics of Ji-Man Choi with a 3-run homer to take the lead. They've since surrendered it and are down 1 now in the 8th.
It's a beautiful, beautiful day, Drew. Baseball is back. There's baseball all around North America today. And again, a day of hope, a day of positivity for pretty much every single fan base in baseball. And we're glad you're joining us to be a part of it today. As Yamaguchi with a 2-2 offer to Martinez fouled off, it remains a 2-2 game in the top of the 8th inning, 1 out. And here's the 2-2 pitch now. So Martinez, that curveball, oh, it's low and inside. The call not given, as that one is a little bit inside near the knees.
It's the 3rd time already we've seen Yamaguchi try and paint that curveball with 2 strikes.
Martinez drives that routine ground over to short. Bichette will throw to Shaw for the out. 2 away now as Yamaguchi continues to cruise. And listen, I mean, he keeps checking the boxes. He keeps getting through more and more challenges, Yamaguchi does, and a pretty decent outing at least so far for him in his first major league appearance.
And here, he's not facing any old competition either. 3 batters against Benintendi, Martinez, and now Bogarts is a tough task for a new reliever in their first appearance.
Absolutely. That fastball offering just a little high. Ball 1, his 38th pitch, Yamaguchi. And we'll see if he can get out of this inning. If he can, I mean, that gives Charlie Montoyo so many more options in this bullpen. If you can have a guy who, on demand can go a couple innings of pretty good relief for you. But it's not over yet. Now a 2-2 count, however, or 2-1 count rather. He is 2 pitches away from getting out of this inning. Bogart's taking here and swings on that low curveball offering. Excellent curveball there. Really dropped on that. Almost a 12-6 curve. 2-2 count now to Bogarts. The number 4 hitter playing shortstop today. 1 for 2 on the day. Swings at that high heat offering. And that'll go back into the seats for a foul ball. Boston trying to get ahead here if they can in the top of the 8th inning. Bogarts, can he start something? That cutter is fouled off. And he's staying alive here nonetheless. Yamaguchi now. Here's his 2-2. Oh, that one is swung on to deep left field. Gurriel going back, but he will range back and get it. 3 up, 3 down for Shun Yamaguchi. We have a tie ball game heading to the bottom of the 8th inning here in Toronto. Bottom of the 8th inning here now at Rogers Center on opening day. We welcome you back inside as Danny Jansen steps up to the plate. The catcher today, 1 for 2 on the day. As Ryan Brashear continues his relief outing, we're seeing in the last inning, Shun Yamaguchi goes 2 innings strong, upwards of 40 pitches. Now we'll see if Ryan Brashear and the Red Sox bullpen can answer.
So Brashear now in his second inning of work means that we've got complete lines for both starters. Rodriguez 6 in the third, we giving up 5 hits and 2 runs, striking out 6 with just the 1 walk. Ryu went 6 strong, surrendering 2 runs and 5 hits, striking out 5 without walking a batter. And for Ryu, all 5 of those hits were in the first 2 innings, locked in right after that.
Absolutely, and you love to see that from your premier ace, and still a pretty good outing for the big left-hander as Brashear delivers that pitch. It's check swing. Oh, he goes. He did not check his swing. He actually went all the way. Full count now to Danny Jansen trying to lead off this inning. And that slider swung on, fouled off there.
Brashear faced 2 pitchers last inning. Faced 2 batters last inning, striking out both. Looking to get his 3rd now, and just his 3rd batter face.
That low fastball offer once again swung on. Jansen surviving here. Brashear now in a full count scenario. Jansen, oh my goodness! Danny Jansen just obliterated that baseball, and that one stays fair, and it is out of here. Danny Jansen gives the Toronto Blue Jays the lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. What a time for that one.
That was an absolute missile. As soon as he connected with that one, you could tell he made great contact right on the fat part of his bat. Line that one into the 200 level here at Rogers Center. And all of a sudden, when the 9-hitter gives you that kind of action, the Jays are now in the driver's seat, just needing 3 outs. And they've got the lead to finish off this opening day game.
Absolutely. And now, yes, you're right, Drew. They're very close to closing out this game all of a sudden. What timing for that? And we're seeing the Blue Jays, tying this game up on a Hernandez home run and now taking the lead, being able to put some pop into it and take control of this game as Heath Hembry will now enter the contest after Ryan Brashear surrenders that home run.
And for the Jays here, that Jansen leading off the inning means there's none out here. So they have time to add on as the top of the order is due up now. Here first, Bo Bichette.
Absolutely, as now we expect Ken Giles to begin warming in the Blue Jays bullpen any moment. The closer, as Bo Bichette 0 for 2 on the day, like you mentioned, you're trying to tack on some extra runs onto this now newfound lead for the Blue Jays. They were trailing for lots of the game, tied it up in the 7th on a Teoscar Hernandez home run, and now take the lead on a Danny Jansen home run, who, by the way, Danny Jansen has had himself a tremendous day. 2 for 3 with a double and a home run. And Bichette swings through that curveball offering on a 1-2 count, and he will strike out.
Well, the Red Sox bullpen, 4 batters faced 3 strikeouts. But that one other batter faced the solo bomb to surrender the lead to the Jays.
Right you are, Drew, and now Cavan Biggio steps in, trying to get some more insurance runs, or at least get on and keep this Red Sox, get deeper and deeper in this Red Sox bullpen. With a 4-game series here in Toronto, you'd love to get this bullpen nice and tired as Matt Barnes and Darwinson Hernandez both get warming. A 2-0 count now to Cavan Biggio. The left-handed second baseman drives that one to deep left center. That one's going back. Martinez giving chase, but he will get there and get under it and make the play. 2 away now as Heath Hembree comes in and settles everything down a little bit now with 2 straight outs.
Thus far, Martinez has looked pretty good out there in left field. He hasn't had to do too much so far today, but shows some decent range there, proving maybe he's got a bit more value in the field than just a DH bat.
Yep, and that'll be something that the Red Sox will really need as the season goes on with injuries and everything else. As that fastball offering to Lourdes Gurriel Jr., 0 for 3 on the day, is a bit low. Ball number 1. Heath Hembree trying to, get in here and seal away what could have been a very productive inning for the Jays. Still could be. 2-0 count now to Gurriel Jr. Now a 2-1 count as he swings on that slider, but it looked like we were talking about earlier in the inning, Drew, about how after Jansen hits that bomb, all of a sudden you've got the number 1 hitter in Bichette back at the plate with none out and the chance to really make some hay, but Heath Hembree comes in here and shuts the door.
And Hembree's been a stabilizing presence for the Red Sox for some years now. He's been with the team since 2014, so he's well known to both Jays fans and Red Sox fans alike, and he's looking just 1 strike away to get from getting out of this inning.
Here's the pitch. Slider right on the outside part of the plate, and is ruled a ball. Very close call there. Excellent take by Gurriel Jr. Full count now. Swung on. That one's flown out to shallow left. Martinez underneath, it looks like, and he'll make the play. Showing off that defense a little bit, J.D. Martinez is, but Danny Jansen, the talk of the Rogers Center right now, he puts the Blue Jays in front in the bottom of the 8th. We'll see if they can close out this game on opening day 2020 here at Rogers Center. And now it's closing time for the Blue Jays as Ken Giles enters the game. He'll take on Devers, Pilar, and Vasquez in his very first inning of work in this season. And he's known as 100 Miles Giles for a reason around here.
A very different look for the Red Sox hitters than they've seen so far today, with Shun Yamaguchi and his curveball in the 60s and Ryu, who tops out around 92, 93. Giles has a fastball, and he is not afraid to use it.
Absolutely. Routinely being able to run that fastball in the mid to upper 90s, sometimes even hitting triple digits. As that 97-mile-per-hour fastball right at the top part of the strike zone is fouled off by Devers. And listen, this pitching for the Blue Jays today has been very solid so far. The sequencing from Ryu to Yamaguchi now to Giles, something that Blue Jays fans would love to get used to. And here's the offering from Giles, 98-mile-per-hour fastball. Devers struggling to catch up to it at the moment.
And he's been coming right at him. That's something we saw a lot from Giles last year. He put up a dazzling 1.87 ERA, and a lot of it came from his aggressive use of the fastball.
Fearless he is, and fearless he is there. Excellent fastball on the inside. Devers goes chasing. 1 away now.
That's Devers' 4th put out today, 0 for 4 on the days. Come up with some runners on in some important situations. Here, there's no one on base, but just trying to get something going. It's a big at-bat, and now Giles just needs 2 outs.
And now Kevin Pilar, his old barn. What a time for a hit, wouldn't it be now, eh? As he has to try to salvage something off Ken Giles, and that fastball right on the bottom part of the strike zone for strike 1.
Well, Pilar, an aggressive hitter himself. Can't imagine this at-bat goes too deep. He loves to swing, and Giles loves to throw strikes.
Sure does. In a park like this where any swing could go out, why not swing away as he swings at that one? But he swings right through it. Strike number 2 on a fastball. Giles, you're absolutely right, Drew. Just going right at these hitters, and, both Devers and Pilar have, nothing to answer with, at least at the moment. 0-2 count now to Pilar. Giles trying to get back-to-back strikeouts here. Pilar trying to keep the Red Sox alive and trying to get something going for them as he fouls that one off and stays alive in this at-bat.
And a great spoil. A fastball at 98, and he sees a slider in the 80s, and he managed to get a piece of it to stay alive. Great work by Pilar.
And that slider just below the zone. Wow, excellent take by Kevin Pilar there. A lot of hitters would have been swinging away at that one. It was an excellent pitch, excellent drop below the zone, but he takes for a 1-2 count now. Here's the 1-2 offering. That slider fouled past the first base side.
Great discipline. We talked earlier, Pilar didn't have it last year, but with a walk already in this deep plate appearance today, maybe developed quite a new skill over the offseason.
Perhaps as that slider outside, another good take by Pilar, and if he can get a batter's eye, the sky really is the limit for someone like Kevin as he drives that one to left field, but it doesn't look like it's going to go very far as Gurriel is there to make the play. 2 outs now.
As the fans all rise to their feet, the Jays with an unknown season coming up. Who knows where they'll finish? All this young talent. It looks like so far it's off on the right foot as it's just Christian Vasquez standing in the way between Toronto and their first win of the season.
And Ken Giles' very first save of the season as well, if he can get it. As that first pitch offering to Vasquez is a ball, low slider. He's been trying that low slider. Hasn't really been working for him in this inning, but still a very nice pitch nonetheless to complement the rest of his repertoire. Here's the 1-0 offering. Fans on their feet. Vasquez drives that one into right, and it'll get down for a base hit. A 2-out base hit here for Christian Vasquez. Keeps the Red Sox alive.
Well, great piece of hitting is on the outside half the plate. He just stayed with it, took it the other way, and all of a sudden the tying run's on base now.
And the go-ahead run at the plate in the form of Michael Chavis, the DH. Swings away at that one. First pitch over to Vladdy at third. He'll go to Biggio for the out and the win. The Toronto Blue Jays win the very first game of the season. 3-2. Ken Giles with the save. Shun Yamaguchi with a wonderful outing. Hyunjin Ryu with a wonderful start. Danny Jansen hits the home run to ultimately win the game for the Blue Jays. And what a contest. Some great pitching, but also some clutch hitting.
Well, the story for the Jays is going to be the bullpen today. After giving up the 2 runs in the first couple innings from Hyunjin Ryu, they really locked it down as he found his place, and Yamaguchi and Giles combined for 3 shutout innings, and the late rally from the Jays delivers their first win of the season.
And be interesting to see, the bullpen, how that shakes out for the Jays, but an excellent start for that bullpen for them. Excellent start for their pitching staff in general. But how about Danny Jansen? 2 for 3 on the day. He is our player of the game here at VJN. And Shun Yamaguchi gets the win in 2 innings of work. Lots of pitches, 40 plus. Ryan Brasher takes the loss. But in terms of the hitting in this game, Drew, what stood out for you?
I've got to commend Danny Jansen on a great day at the plate. He had a lot going on today. He was catching a Ryu for the first time. He was catching Yamaguchi for the first time. And you catch him in spring training, but it's not quite the same as when you catch him against real Major League hitters in real Major League games, especially with the packed house on opening day. Big day for Danny Jansen, and he didn't let that get in the way at all at the plate. Facing some tough Red Sox pitchers, the best they've got to offer this season, and he was all over the place. The double in the first inning, great. The home run in the 8th, that was just clutch hitting at its finest.
So the Blue Jays take opening day. They take the first game of this 4-game set here in Toronto. Game 2 of this series goes tomorrow at 7 p.m. For Jackson Farough and Drew Frank, thank you for joining us today on the Virtual Jays Network for some Blue Jays baseball and some excellent hitting, some excellent pitching. Most of all, we're glad you tuned in. We'll see you next time, everyone. Have a good night.